Hello, this is Eli doing the commentary for Muppet Star Wars 2. And yeah, because with the opening of Muppet Star Wars 2, because it says in loving memory of Carol Spinney. And the interesting thing is, well, not only because, one thing is actually because, literally, the day I started filming this, I got the news, and I heard that because Carol Spinney died pretty much the day, that I started filming, which was kind of sad, and, of course, it made sense for that to be in there, and, because Carol Spinney, he, was big time Muppeteer, and, with, on Sesame Street from playing Big Bird to Oscar, So yeah, of course it makes sense, big part of the Muppets family, and legendary Muppeteer, that is, so pretty much. And so of course, as you know, because, in the beginning, because with Palpatine and Darth Vader, and with the director named John Coleman, because John Coleman, he is named after two members of Lucasfilm and Industrial Lights and Magic, John Knoll and Rob Coleman. And for any of you Star Wars fans, you get that reference. So once again, Palpatine and Vader, they're saying to the director, we owe the first, your Muppet Star Wars fan film was awful, and especially because with these segments with behind the scenes and backstage, with the director and the Muppets, it's a good thing because this is a part of it, because with the first Muppet Star Wars, it was literally made the year that I started YouTube, and at that time I didn't really know that much on how to really work on videos, from music, etc., just that kind of stuff. And so, but as of now, hey, look at what I've been doing. So I've become better, working on videos, and especially with Muppet Star Wars 2. So, oh yeah, and coming up here because this part, because John tells Palpatine and Vader that there were some people that actually did like Muppet Star Wars, and not just because in Muppet Star Wars, in the Muppet Star Wars fan films, the parts where with Kermit, Animal, Jarl Poof, they say that they enjoyed it as well as Uncle Deadly. You guys seemed, apparently, because the first Muppet Star Wars, it did pretty good. Some of you guys seem to enjoy it, as well as coming up here, somebody I know of on YouTube that I follow, who reacted to it. His cameo coming up here. Yeah, here he is. So, that is Drake Dragonborn. That's what he goes by on YouTube. He's part of a YouTube channel called The Improvables. And I requested, because I've been following that YouTube channel for quite a while, even before I started YouTube, and even when, and I even requested him to react to that, as well, along with two other videos I did, such as the Marvel fan film, if you guys had seen that. And he enjoyed it, and as you've seen in Muppet Star Wars 2. Yeah, and with the Wampa and Jarl Poof. Yeah, and of course, with the Wampa plush, I think, because the Wampa plush, I think it is a really cool plush of the Wampa. It comes with, it also came with, it was part of a figure set. You have the Wampa, but you also have Luke Skywalker and his Tauntaun, so... But, yeah, literally, in the toy set, I digged the Wampa the most. I'm not saying I didn't like the Luke figure and Tauntaun, they're cool, but just, if you just bear with me. Yeah, and Salacious Crumb, I'm one of those few people that actually like Salacious Crumb and his species. I do like the species in Star Wars, the monkey, lizards, that is what they're called, but there's another name to it. I think because it starts with the letter K, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, and that painting right there, the Death Star painting, that was done by my father. Actually, he painted that. I just decided to throw that in just for I guess for a laugh, and yeah, I guess it is pretty funny. And like basically, the director, he says that he's painted it, so and I guess it shows, the director, not only can he do a Star Wars fan film, he does have some art skills. So yeah. Yeah, and some of the Muppets, some of them in costume, like Bunsen Honeydew in the R2 costume, even when I filmed this, I didn't have any more Muppet figures. Oh, and this right here, the part where it says a few weeks later. Okay, and a special thanks to Ghost Hunters, 445, if I'm getting the last numbers right, I can't remember, but Ghost Hunters, I'll just, that's what I've been calling him, Ghost Hunters. He helped make some of the credits and words in this, but what you just saw a few weeks later, that was done by me, so that was the only thing with words, that were done by me. So, but the rest, like with the opening crawl and the end credits, that was done by Ghost Hunters, as well as what we see at the beginning, literally the beginning of Muppet Star Wars 2, in loving memory of Carol Spinney. So, oh yeah, and of course the fanfare and the 20th Century Fox music. Of course, you have to put that in. So, so yeah, and the opening crawl. Yeah, because, of course, it wouldn't be Star Wars without the opening crawl. And, unfortunately, because we weren't able to, and I don't know, if Ghost Hunters, I guess he wasn't really able to do that, actually, have the opening crawl be, just make it like how the opening crawls are in Star Wars, if you get what I'm saying, so... But I guess it turned out okay, and you guys didn't seem to mind. You guys didn't mind, so. And I remember this because Ghost Hunters was asking me, do we want to put in a name for Muppet Star Wars 2? Because not just Episode 2, but it should have, a name for it. And I remember one time, when we were talking about this on Discord, he told me that it should be called the Phantom Muppet or the Puppet. No, the Muppet Menace. I'm pretty sure that was his idea, but I was just like, I honestly couldn't figure out if I wanted to do it or not, if I could come up with a name, because the title for Muppet Star Wars 2, so I just, all that's in there is just Episode 2, so, yeah, and this was also done by Ghost Hunters. The shot of when the camera pans down and we see the Death Star in Endor, and that's when we translate to on the planet. So, I'm pretty sure this was. I can't remember. No, I don't think this was the first shot I did. Because I think I started. I think one of the first shots I did for this, when I started filming this. I started with some of the shots, I guess maybe at nighttime, I guess. I can't remember, but honestly can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. But of course, the entrance with Darth Vader, played by Gonzo the Great. And once again, the Stormtrooper chickens, Yeah, and one thing is, because I did manage to do this in the first Muppet Star Wars. Insert subtitles, of what the chickens are saying, or what the chickens are saying, and what the aliens are saying, Yeah, and of course, do that again. So of course, but yeah, and coming up here because Beaker as C-3PO. Yeah, and the thing is, it's a bit of a shame that I could not put in Beaker and Miss Piggy in the first Muppet Star Wars. I guess, because of how the story was, and But and another thing is Jabba the Hutt, because he does. He finally appears in Muppet Star Wars 2, unlike how he didn't appear in the first Muppet Star Wars. It was just Wampa Guard and what's his face, they wanna wonga. So yeah. But yeah, so and this right here, because I guess I was, you really need to give you like because if you're doing a Star Wars fan film, you gotta shoot some good locations, and this right here, because I tried my best like to make it feel like because it's Tatooine, and I guess it worked out okay. I mean, after all, this is a Muppet Star Wars fan film, but with Muppets. So yeah. Oh yeah, and coming up right here, you can hear. I'm sure you guys noticed this. This was part of Muppet Star Wars 2 by accident. There was one blooper. There was like one part where you can hear me say "go," like I kind of messed up, But I guess, as of now, I guess it fits because, hey, because with the segments with, behind the scenes and with John Coleman, the director, being the director of the Muppet Star Wars fan films, if you get what I'm saying, I guess, it kind of fits. So, yeah, and I did my best, trying to do a Jabba the Hutt impression, but I think my impression turned out pretty good. I got some good compliments from, like, I guess one or two YouTubers, what they thought of my Muppet impressions, I guess from Uncle Deadly, Kermit, and Animal, And the thing is, because of Kermit's voice, I can only do the only Kermit voice I can do is my Kermit. Like, you can't do an impression of, say, Jim Henson's Kermit, or do an impression of Steve Whitmire's Kermit, or even also Matt Vogel's Kermit voice. If I said his last name correctly, you just can't. You can just do your own Kermit voice. So but that's no big deal. So it's like, Seth MacFarlane, he does a good Kermit voice. So yeah, anybody who does a Kermit impression, they're doing their Kermit voice. So as I said, there's no way like you could impersonate. You can do an impression of like Jim's, Steve's, and Matt's, so. Yeah, and of course, in Muppet Star Wars 2, I added in clips from Return of the Jedi. Just, the shots of the ships, I put those in. And literally, because with Muppet Star Wars 2, because I was trying to give it that Return of the Jedi feel to it, and I guess I worked out pretty good, I guess. It's like with the first Muppet Star Wars, I was trying to give it an Empire Strikes Back feel to it, just a bit, and yeah, some of it I guess worked out. There was some of it that worked out, that Empire feel, just I mean, for one thing is, at the end of Muppet Star Wars, at the end of the first Muppet Star Wars, like literally, the Empire well, they almost win. Like, they'd captured Han Solo, Leia, Chewbacca on Cloud City, They kind of win, but still, at the end of Empire, Luke and the rest, they escape on the Millennium Falcon in hyperspace. So, but yeah. And also with the Lego figures, because you have Admiral Akbar and this Gungan, I threw them in, I threw some of the Lego figures in there. Because, it is a Star Wars fan film, so what can you do? So, yeah, and I think I did a pretty good job with my impressions of Akbar and the Gungan. So, yeah, and for the Gungan, I mean, it was just basically like a Gungan warrior Lego figure, so it didn't matter, like, which Gungan it was, and, voice, so I just, I did my own Gungan, so, we sigh. But yeah. Yeah, and these green screen shots, like, at the time when I did the first Muppet Star Wars, I didn't have a green screen at that time, but it wasn't until, like, a few years after Muppet Star Wars, I did get a green screen. I was able to get a green screen, and of course, yeah, this time, with Muppet Star Wars 2, now I can really do some stuff, and, like, of course, do some green screen shots and with backgrounds, because from the inside of the Rebel ships and the Death Star and the planets. So, obviously, because as of now that I'm thinking of it, because, like, okay, I didn't do any green screen shots, obviously, for Endor, because, duh, you did those outside, and the outside shots with Endor, that are supposed to be Endor, worked out pretty good, so, yeah, and that part with the Wampa and whatever that character's name was, that Lego figure, I'm pretty sure it is supposed to be the Lego version of John Ratzenberger's character in Empire Strikes Back. Because if you guys don't know, because John Ratzenberger, Pixar's Lucky Charm, being in every Pixar film, from Ham, from Toy Story, P.T. Flea from A Bug's Life, and the Abominable Snowman from Monsters Incorporated, and he had been in Empire Strikes Back as one of the rebels, and he and another rebel, lieutenant or somebody, whoever it was, they went up to Princess Leia and, like, telling her that they needed to close the doors, because there was no sign of Han and Luke, so I think I tried my best to do an impression of John Ratzenberger, and I think it was pretty good. Yeah, and, like, that shot with the TIE fighters, like, yeah, with the sound effects in this, I really nailed at it. Like, I was able to find some sound effects of the ships, blasters, lightsabers for this. I found them on YouTube, and man, I found some pretty good ones, and they fit perfectly in Muppet Star Wars 2. Even with that shot from Return of the Jedi where the TIE fighters are flying, right as, we come to the part where Palpatine arrives, they fit perfectly. And yeah, and also, if you listen closely, you can hear the engine sound of the Death Star, if you get what I'm saying, you can hear that if you listen closely. Yeah, I wasn't able to find one, like, say, for the Rebel ship, but, I think it was, I guess it turned out okay without it, so, yeah, and of course, we get a quick cameo from, Sam the Eagle as Obi-Wan and Rizzo the Rat as Yoda, because I don't think it, wouldn't be the same without them, and, of course, Obi-Wan and Yoda, they're Force ghosts, so, yeah, and this right here, Darth Vader talking to the bounty hunters, Boba Fett, Bosk, and IG-88, and the music playing right here, this is from Empire, which is kind of nifty music for the bounty hunters, if you pay attention to it, just, dun, 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 just, yeah, it, frickin' John Williams, he knows his music, so, yeah, and at one point, yeah, I do repeat it like I started from the beginning. If you didn't know that, yeah, and these parts with Ling Hogthrob as Han Solo, like, because the only time we see him, like, we see Link as Han Solo is just with the Carbonite, in him and Carbonite. I did look up for a Han Solo. Well, Link Hogthrob as Han Solo, because there have been, because Disney did these action figures of the Muppet characters as the Star Wars characters. And, of course, they did do one of Link Hogthrob and another figure of Fozzie Bear as Chewbacca. But the thing is, when I looked that up on eBay, and it really cost a lot, so that pretty much got scrapped of trying to get the Link Hogthrob action figure, and including with that the action figure of Fozzie Bear. So, oh yes, and this shot coming up right here, this shot right here. I almost thought, okay, because I shot this and then I inserted the Imperial shuttle. I did this in one take. I thought that, well, okay, I'm probably gonna have to do this maybe 2 or 3 or frickin' 10 takes or something, but no, that was done in one take, and it came out so good. It came out so perfect, and even when I inserted the Imperial shuttle, it came out perfect. Absolutely perfect. Even my parents, they loved it. So, and I did post it on Facebook, like I was teasing it or something like that. So, yeah. And by the way, because speaking of which, because Muppet Star Wars 2, it had gotten delayed, I think, 4 times, literally, and it was supposed to come. Okay, so let me explain, because Muppet Star Wars 2, the first time it got delayed was that it was originally, oh yeah, this shot right here, yeah, it came out perfect too. Like, all I had to do was just keep the camera still, so, and if you guys remember that scene in Return of the Jedi where they see the Imperial shuttle leaving, in daytime, so, alright, but coming back to, of it being delayed, the first time it got delayed when, because it was, at first, it was supposed to come out right around before The Rise of Skywalker was supposed to come out, but that never came to be. The second time it was supposed to come out somewhere, like, whenever in January, like, say, early January, mid-January, the end of January, just whenever. But that didn't happen. The third time was, the third time was that it was supposed to come out right around before Season 7 of The Clone Wars was supposed to come out. That didn't happen as well. The fourth time was when I had planned for it to come out right around before the arc with, Ahsoka and the sisters, Rafa and Trace, before that arc started. But that didn't happen either. And finally, because May the 4th, was coming, I was like, well, wait a minute, I can release that, on May the 4th. And thus I did. And the crazy thing is that, literally, because I started working on this, like, I think around Friday or Saturday, a couple days before May the 4th, maybe probably somewhere around late Friday, and then, like, almost throughout Saturday, but that wasn't until literally the day on May the 4th, and the day it was supposed to come out, I was working literally all day on this, like, non-stop, like, maybe I took 1 or 2 quick breaks, like a bathroom break or something, and that was it. I spent all day finishing that up, and boy, I was so happy to get that out, and even with it being 30 freaking minutes, boy, was I so happy and relieved. And literally right after, somewhere after it had finished uploading, like, I got to watching the final episode of the Clone Wars, of Season 7, and right after that, I immediately went and watched A New Hope, because, hey, what a way to end the day off with A New Hope, so, and with May the 4th, so, I'm telling you, that was something, okay, so, and also, yeah, because more talks on the green screen shots, I tried my best to, and I did, I managed to, like, these shots, like, Palpatine's room, with his chair, like that, the one, like, the shots where it shows Palpatine, Uncle Deadly, that is, like, that's from, like, some painting or something that I found, and also, like, the shots with Vader and Luke fighting, like, that's from something else, I honestly can't remember, but, yeah, I was lucky. I was happy to find some of those, and drop that, in green screen. As well as, like, with the shots of, like, the shots with Akbar and the Gungan, those are that same thing. Like that's a painting. So so and also with the shot, more shots from more clips from Return of the Jedi put in here, and and still the sound effects that I inserted in, like they worked perfectly, and because with Lane Cogthrob, you can hear him speaking, because I felt that, hey, because at least we should hear more of Link as Han, and coming up right here, just and to make it up, because because I wasn't able to get my hands on the action figure of Link as Han, and if I was able to get the action figure of Link as Han, then Link would have taken the part with with Scooter, because I wasn't able to get my hands on the action figure of Link as Han, Scooter as Lando had to take his place. So just to put it at that. So, and of what I'm trying to explain. Oh yeah, and this scene, of course you have to do it, and with the action figure of Gonzo's Darth Vader, he does have a second head, and which being where we literally see Gonzo's face, I guess I made this this is kind of a bit funny, because when Darth Vader dies and he's like, so, yeah, and the music here, just, and the crazy, the strange thing is, because with some of the green screen shots and where Kermit is in them, the lightsaber, it's in there, like it's no longer blue, like it's part of the green screen, if you get what I'm saying, if you notice that. I remember even, like, I think Mr. Mindblocks, he pointed that out to me, Mr. Mindblocks on YouTube. And the finale, of course. And I almost forgot to mention the Batmobile, because, like in the first Muppet Star Wars, I had to include the Batmobile, including coming up, where I once again give a shout out to Drake Dragonmore, where, he says, use the Batmobile, and you know what, just everybody seemed to love the Batmobile appear in the first Muppet Star Wars, so I had to include that in. Oh yeah, and also, if you didn't notice, if you listen closely, you'll hear, like, the music kind of speeds up or something, just if you get what I'm saying, that was by mistake, and yet that's another thing that, because with the director, John Coleman, and with Palpatine and Vader pointing that out, so, and besides, and again, it's a Star Wars fan film, and because of those segments, because with John Coleman, if you get what I'm saying, as I explained, so. Oh yeah, and like, Ned Nimnum, if I'm saying them right, Lando's co-pilot, and the battle droid, like, I've seen this, like, in those Lego Star Wars bits, where, like, a battle droid reprogrammed, and being good and such. I've seen that. If you guys seen those Lego Star Wars, like, mini-series, those Star Wars specials, well, yeah, and this right here, him fainting. And I actually had to record the sound of me, like, fainting. Just, of John Coleman fainting. Just, that was funny. Yeah, and once again, giving a shout-out to Drake Dragonborn because of the Batman, Yeah, this time, because Palpatine and Vader, they seem to have enjoyed Muppet Star Wars 2, but they're still going to point out to John Coleman, but there were a few things that were kind of that were goof-ups, and as I explained. Yeah, and with the end credits coming up, because Ghost Hunters, he did a fantastic job with them. He did a fantastic job with the opening crawl, the words, just everything. He did a fantastic job. I applaud him for that. But yeah, and you guys seem to really enjoy Muppet Star Wars 2, and I'm happy that this turned out really good, and I'm happy that I got this out on May the 4th, and even when I was working my butt off finishing this up. So Yeah, and I'm happy. I'm just happy of how it turned out. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Oh yeah, Ghost Hunters 445. So, yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, for listening to this commentary, and I'm glad you guys loved Muppet Star Wars 2. I just love just doing these fan films, and whatever I do on YouTube, I enjoy it. So, thank you so much once again, and again, thank you for listening to this commentary. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.